Hey Jews, yesterday I did a video of our blessing of the trees. It was the first of Nisan, and we went out to do the blessing of the trees. We explained there that you need to have flowering trees, fruit trees, and you need to have at least 2 trees that are flowering in order to do the blessing. And this blessing basically is to release the souls of anyone that may be trapped in that fruit and in the trees. So we talked a little bit about reincarnation. That's what that means. So I wanted to just expand a little bit on that to give a little bit more of a picture about what reincarnation is. Somebody had mentioned that the rabbis don't teach this. Well, the rabbis in general of our day don't teach a lot of things because the understanding is very low level, because what they learn in rabbinical school or whatnot is just a very low level, one dimension of the Torah. And as I have explained many times before, the Torah is very deep. It's 4 dimensions. It's called the Pardes. So it's the Pshat, Remes, Drash, Vesod. And the only way that you can really understand the wisdom is to do all the levels. And because of our history with fake messiahs and whatnot that were claimed to be based in the Kabbalah, there's a big movement, especially in the Ashkenazi world, not to learn the Zohar and not to learn the Kabbalah. So the understanding is at a very low level. It's ineffective. Most people who pray today have no understanding whatsoever of why they do the things they do or whatever. So, and that's my experience because I live in a ultra-Orthodox ghetto in the Holy Land of Israel. People don't have any clue what they're doing. So it's just everybody to their own level of understanding. We all need to prepare our minds to understand the wisdom. If you don't prepare your mind, you're not going to understand the wisdom. How do you prepare your mind? You also have to follow the Torah laws because it purifies your soul. And that's what we're going to talk today about, the soul and reincarnation. So as we've discussed in most of the past year about consciousness, everything in creation was created at a certain level of consciousness. Mineral, plant, animal, speaker, different than an animal, created with the ability to speak, which is rooted here in this area called Binah, which is also this higher level of understanding of the wisdom, Binah. Okay, so not a low level understanding of our reality, only the physical level of reality. The physical level of reality we can understand with this low level of understanding through experience, through experimentation, through what our eyes can see, all the things that are physical, what we see, what we hear, what we taste, whatever, things we go through and experience. But in order to have a higher level of understanding of the wisdom of God, we need to purify our souls. We have to have a spiritual receptivity, which starts with a fear of God, meaning we don't dare break these laws. And moreover, we want to follow the laws of the Torah. We want to heal our souls, as is written in the Torah, that if we follow the laws, we will heal our souls. And if we heal our souls, we become a better vessel, as it's described, like, so we can absorb more of the wisdom, so we can understand more of the wisdom. Not like a bunch of these hypocrites in today's world, even in the religious world, whatever. They're doing whatever they're doing with very little understanding, and we can see also in their behavior that that's not a perfected human being. So speaker is how we were made, but we're supposed to use our faculty of speech in order to increase our level to a conscious level called Israel. And this conscious level is a God awareness consciousness. That's the whole goal of the entire nation, is to achieve this higher level of consciousness where we have a God awareness consciousness. Okay, so God as a gift basically gave our ancestors at Har Sinai a physical experience of God. They had a God conscious awareness through their experience. They heard God's voice. They saw God's speech or whatever, they were all 3 million of them witnesses on a physical level of the revelation of God, as we will be, Bezrat Hashem, soon at the redemption. We'll all have this physical, real experience of God, and then we'll have this God awareness consciousness. But the whole goal of us getting, the whole reason we got the Torah laws is that we should be able to achieve this level by studying the information and practicing the spiritual practice of Judaism. So that's what we should be doing. So when we bless the trees, it's not just like, oh, that's a really nice, fun thing for us to do. And it's so beautiful to bless the trees. It's for a purpose. And the purpose is to release the souls that are trapped there. Because what happens is, as my husband explained in that video, that when we don't use our speech for, like, for example, when we eat fruits, for example, okay, and we explained there's a certain blessing that you say with your mouth. You say a certain blessing before eating it. So before, there's a certain blessing, and after, according to certain laws, like how much of it you ate and whatnot. Now, these blessings release the souls so what happens is, when we're reincarnated, if we in this reality, as we've explained, this is a punishment for us to be in this reality. To be as a speaker, it's already hard enough, but it's good because we have free choice and we have the ability to speak, and our consciousness level, we have an ability to grow our consciousness. But if we're at a different level, this is difficult to explain, but not all minerals are at the conscious level of mineral, meaning there are certain conscious levels, okay, and they're lower than speakers. But if a speaker doesn't achieve certain things that they're supposed to achieve in order to rectify their souls, meaning our souls are damaged, and that's why we are punished with this life as a speaker. But we have the ability to fix that by doing certain things that are in the Torah. So if we just did them, we would fix them. And then when we die, that's it. We would go to, hopefully, Gan Eden, or heaven, basically, and wait until which time that there will be the end of the time, the end of this punishment reality, which is the world of truth and lies, which is this 5-dimensional reality. And then we will all of the rectified souls, all of the purified souls, all of the souls that have done their tikkun will go on to Olam Haba, which is not a 5-dimensional reality. It's mostly a spiritual reality of truth, where there will no longer be this question if you believe in God or not. We will know. We will just know. Like everything else knows. No other creation, not the mineral, not the plant, not the animal, and not the angels. None of them have to believe or not believe in God. They know about God. Only us. We have to sift through the truth and the lies in this reality, which is a punishment, in order to choose God, in order to choose to know God, in order to choose to understand and have faith, to understand the wisdom. So again, for that, we need to rectify our souls. We need to have the spiritual ability to understand any of the wisdom. So if we do not do that, chas v'shalom, like for example, if all your life you're eating fruits and vegetables and whatever, and food, and you're not saying any blessings, not the blessings before, not the blessings after. So there's certain things that are not happening. You're not helping anybody's soul who came before you. Maybe your ancestors, whatever. You're not helping them be released from their reincarnated at a lower level, but they still have their own consciousness, meaning they know what's happening. They can't talk. Maybe they're a plant. Maybe they're a fruit. It's a suffering. It's even a worse suffering. So if you think being here, being a Jew in our time is suffering for some reason, or whatever you think is happening, you should know that this is a big mercy, that you have the ability to do all of these things to rectify your soul. And there's different levels of your soul also. Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, Chaya Yechida. So there's 5 levels. And the way we are trying to understand reincarnation is that each one of these levels could come back at different times and in different ways. So it may not be that your entire consciousness or your entire soul comes back as a banana or whatever. But part of your soul could come back as a banana. So if your soul comes back as a banana and you, for example, and you have that consciousness, like you right now are a banana and some Jew is eating you, you're hoping that Jew is a God-fearing Jew, which means they have a little bit of wisdom, because you can only have any wisdom and understanding is if you fear God. And so then you're like, Baruch Hashem, thank God, this Jew is going to say the blessing before and after, and my soul is going to be finally released, Baruch Hashem, whatever part, and that's it. So you, Chas v'shalom, if you, Jew, do not do any of those things, you will be punished in the exact same way. It's measure for measure. So you should understand, and that's what we're trying to learn when we're trying to learn the series about faith and how God runs the world, how God supervises the world, that everything is measure for measure, and everything is justice, and everything is mercy. So it could be that if you're not doing any of the blessings, then as a punishment, you may not come back as a speaker, as a human being. And by the way, we're running out of time. So you may come back as a banana, or you may come back as a rock or whatever. And even, again, like I said, the whole reason I started looking into consciousness is because King Solomon in Proverbs, I believe, which is the book about wisdom, says that if you have lived your entire life, Jew, without seeking any wisdom, without having any fear of God, then you are more useless. This lifetime of yours has been more useless than a mineral. Why mineral? Because a mineral can't even move. A mineral can't even grow. A mineral is the very lowest level of consciousness. That's what you've reduced yourself to by not investigating anything about reality. You were born Jewish. You are a Jew. You may not have considered anything about the Torah or anything about Judaism up until October 7th. So what's the purpose of October 7th? To wake you up. To wake you up. Why? Because we're here at the end of time. So reincarnation, again, just to conclude, reincarnation is basically a punishment for us, for our souls, in order to heal the damage done, either in this lifetime or in previous lifetime. And so by following the Torah laws, we safeguard our souls. We try to rectify our souls with some understanding and wisdom of how to do that. And Chas v'shalom, we won't have to come back into this reality as a speaker, or Chas v'shalom as an animal, or as a plant, or as a mineral. Now, by the way, this whole thing about vegans and whatever, and animal rights activists, the animal also has a purpose. So if it's for food, if it's for the hides, the skin, whatever, if it's for sacrifices when we had the temple, or when we, again, will have the temple. Okay, animal rights activists, they think they're being so loving and kind, and even more loving. You're even more loving if you care about the animals. But because you don't have any information, you have no understanding, you're actually doing a very big damage to the souls of some people that could have been reincarnated in that animal, and they were waiting to be eaten so that they could be blessed and released from this suffering. Now, if no one ate the animals, then none of these souls would be rectified. And just as I guess like a little addition to that at this time, though, however, the kashrut, the ritual slaughter, is so shifty. Yeah, I mean, most Jews, most fanatically committed Jews today do not eat meat. Do not eat meat because we cannot trust the kashrut. So And this is for a lot of different reasons. So at the end of time, probably we are understanding that probably there may not be any more souls left in getting reincarnated into animals. But again, for us to understand properly what is love and what is being merciful and what is not by our own experience. We could be wrong. Like, it may seem like it's more loving and kind to save all the animals, but really the animals were created for a purpose, and if you interfere with that, you could be doing a lot of harm on a spiritual level, and usually it's probably connected to you. For example, if you now didn't bless on the plants or whatever, the food you're eating, it's probably, maybe your grandmother or someone that you loved. That's how it works, basically, more or less. So that's what I'm saying. Hopefully that's helpful and not confusing.